Fan Zhendong is already a legend, world champion, Olympic champion, Grand Slam winner. So this video is not about proving how great he is. That part is already settled. The real question is different. How much longer do we get to watch him play at a serious level, not just showing up, not just playing exhibition matches, but still being dangerous, still beating top players, still winning matches that matter? As fans, of course, we want the answer to be as long as possible, but can data give us a better answer? Can we look at age, injuries, playing style, equipment changes, motivation, and historical examples, and estimate what kind of future is most likely? That is what this video is about. Not one exact retirement age, not one magic prediction, but several possible futures for Fan Zhendong, and the biggest factors that could decide them. Before we predict anything, we need to be very clear about the question. When people ask, how long can Fan Zhendong keep playing, they may mean different things. Do we mean how long can he fight for Olympic or World Championship titles? Or how long can he remain a serious professional player, winning league matches, beating top players, and staying relevant? Or do we simply mean how long can he stay active as a legendary player, choosing the events he wants to play? Those are three different questions. In this video, I'm mostly asking the middle one. How long can Fan Zhendong remain meaningfully competitive, not world number one every year, not winning every major event, but still dangerous, still respected, still capable of winning matches that matter? So I'm not predicting retirement, I'm predicting relevance. Now we can turn the fan question into a data question. Career length is not decided by age alone. If age were everything, every player would decline in the same way, but they don't. Some players are almost finished by 30, some are still dangerous at 40, some, like Ni Xia Lian, keep competing at an age most people would not even imagine. So the question becomes, what actually makes a table tennis career last? I would start with 5 variables. First, the body, reaction, recovery, footwork, and explosive movement usually become harder with age. Second, technical growth. This is the interesting part. Experience, anticipation, touch, placement, and tactics can keep improving even when the body is no longer at its peak. Third, injuries. In table tennis, knees, waist, shoulders, and tendons matter a lot. One serious injury can change the whole career path. Fourth, playing style. A power-heavy style can be incredibly dominant, but it also costs more physically. A more efficient tactical style usually ages better. Fifth, motivation. At some point, the question is not only, can you still play? It is also, do you still want to keep training like this every day? And, of course, things like schedule and workload still matter, but I would treat those more as forces acting on these 5 variables, not as a separate core variable here. So, the model is not age equals decline. The model is more like career length equals body, technique, injury risk, style, and motivation, all interacting together. Next, we need comparison cases, because Fan Zhendong is unique, but he is not the first great player to face the question of longevity. Timo Boll, Vladimir Samsonov, Jan-Ove Waldner, Ni Xia Lian. These players show that table tennis careers can last a very long time. Why? Because table tennis is not only about speed, it is also about reading the game, controlling spin, changing rhythm, winning points before the rally becomes physically expensive. But we have to be careful. Not every player ages inside the same system. Chinese players and European players often have very different career environments. In China, the national team system, Olympic cycles, national games, younger player replacement, and internal competition can all affect how long a player stays on the main stage. In Europe, the club system can sometimes give players more control over schedule and career choices. So when we look at Fan Zhendong, the question is not only biological aging, it is also what kind of career path is he building now? Fan is not just a 29-year-old player entering the second half of his career. He is a 29-year-old player who is still extremely strong. The data points we have are not the data of someone fading away. He still has elite results, elite technical quality, elite pressure handling. His backhand is one of the biggest reasons. It is compact, fast, and stable. It does not need a huge motion to create danger. His line changes are another huge asset. When he changes direction at the right moment, especially with the backhand, he can win points without simply hitting harder. That matters for longevity, because placement and timing usually age better than raw power, but there is also a risk. Fan's style has been built on pressure, power, rotation, speed, taking time away from the opponent. That style is amazing when the body is fresh, but it is expensive. So the real question is not, does Fan Zhendong still have weapons? Of course he does. The real question is, can he use those weapons with lower physical cost? Can he move from pure dominance to sustainability? That is the center of the story. This is where equipment becomes part of the story, not because rubber alone decides a career, but because if the question is sustainability, then every detail that changes energy cost matters, even the rubber. For casual fans, changing rubber may look like changing shoes, but for a professional player, rubber is part of the technique. It changes the feeling of the ball, the timing, the spin, the power, even the type of rally you want to play. Fan Zhendong's system was built for years around sticky Chinese-style forehand rubber, heavy spin, close table pressure, high-quality loops. 003 is different. A simple way to explain it is this. Sticky rubber is like a precision brush. You can create spin with small fine movements. 003 is more like a catapult. If you hit through the ball and activate the sponge, the ball comes out fast and heavy. But if you do not activate it well, the shot can become unstable. So the question is not, is 003 good or bad? The real question is, can Fan Zhendong adapt his technique around it? If the answer is yes, it could help him play a more efficient and sustainable style. If the answer is no, it could create short-term errors and instability. Again, the key variable is not the equipment itself, the key variable is adaptation. Now we get to the data science part, Monte Carlo simulation. The name sounds complicated, but the idea is actually simple. Imagine we could replay Fan Zhendong's future 10,000 times. In one version, he stays healthy. In another, injuries become a bigger problem. In one version, the equipment change works. In another, it takes too long to settle. In one version, he controls his schedule perfectly. In another, the workload becomes too much. That is basically what Monte Carlo simulation does. It does not give us one magical answer. It gives us a distribution of possible answers. You can think of it like the Doctor Strange scene where he looks through many possible futures. Except here, there is no magic stone, no superhero power, just assumptions, data, and probability. For each simulated year, the model checks things like physical decline, technical growth, injury risk, style transformation, schedule control, motivation. Then, after thousands of runs, we ask, where do most futures end? What usually causes the career to slow down? Which variable changes the result the most? And the most interesting finding is this. Style transformation matters a lot. If Fan successfully moves from a power-first player to a more efficient player, his chance of an unusually long career rises sharply. In plain English, if he evolves, the future gets longer. So, what is the prediction? I would not say Fan Zhendong will retire at exactly this age. That sounds scientific, but it is fake precision. A better way is to think in scenarios. Conservative scenario, injuries or adaptation problems appear. He may still play, but his highest level career becomes shorter or more selective. Baseline scenario, he manages his body, controls his schedule, gradually adjusts his style. In that case, staying meaningfully competitive into the late 30s or early 40s is realistic. Optimistic scenario, the style transition works very well. Injuries stay under control, motivation remains high, then competing deep into the 40s becomes possible. Playing to 50, I would call that very difficult, but not completely impossible. It would require almost every major variable to go right. So my bottom line is this: Fan Zhendong's future will not be decided by whether he is already great. That part is settled. It will be decided by whether he can turn greatness into sustainability. The biggest variable is not age. The biggest variable is adaptation. As fans, we can simply hope he plays as long as possible, but data science gives us a better way to think about that hope. It lets us separate emotion from evidence and certainty from probability. We are not trying to find one fixed future. We are trying to understand the shape of many possible futures. And in the best of those futures, Fan Zhendong does not just keep playing, he evolves. If you are interested, in the next video, I can show how I would actually build this model, the data, the assumptions, the Python code, and the simulation step by step. But I also want to hear from you. What do you want the next video to focus on? Leave a comment and tell me what you want to hear next.